Good evening, you're watching Left, Right and Centre. I'm Nidhi Razdan. It's been an unprecedented crackdown on NGOs by the government. 30 of them have had their foreign funding licenses cancelled over the last 5 months, citing what is called public interest by the Home Ministry. But is it just a coincidence that many of those whose licenses have in fact been revoked are those who have been openly critical of the Prime Minister or the BJP in the past? For instance, Indira Jaising, who's a leading lawyer, or Teesta Setalvad, and now Shabnam Hashmi, who has worked with Gujarat riot victims. Or is it that these groups have simply violated the law and not been transparent about their money?
Shabnam Hashmi from the NGO Anhad started a hashtag I Support Anhad to gather momentum against the central government's recent decision to cancel the license under Foreign Contribution Regulation Act or FCRA, which allowed her NGO to accept foreign funds. Anhad's license was renewed in March but once again was cancelled just last week. The only reason? Their actions are against public interest. Anhad was set up during the 2002 riots in Gujarat, where it works mainly with riot victims.
We had another campaign, I Support Anhad, and we were pleasantly surprised that an organization which is doing anti-people work has got support from across India.
The FCRA licenses of at least 30 NGOs have been cancelled over the past 5 months on the ground that they were working against the national interest. The licenses of other NGOs like Greenpeace, Teesta Setalvad's NGOs, Sabrang Trust and Citizens for Justice and Peace were also sanctioned online in August, only to be cancelled in December. Home Ministry sources say all online renewals now stand cancelled. A technical problem may have led to the licenses being renewed. The possibility of its website being hacked was not ruled out.
And this is a very dangerous trend where all dissent is seen to be anti-national.
If an NGO gets a foreign donation and you use it for your own personal use, then certainly the questions are going to be raised.
The government has ordered an internal audit on all FCRA licenses of NGOs which had been recently renewed online. But the NGOs are also not being mute spectators. They have decided to challenge the government both legally as well as through public agitation. In New Delhi, Tanima Biswas for NDTV.
Well, joining us on the program tonight, we have Shabnam Hashmi, who in fact has had her foreign funding license taken back only recently and has now begun a campaign for that as well. Tavleen Singh here in the studio with us, and senior Supreme Court advocate Dushyant Dave also joining us tonight. Shabnam Hashmi, let me ask you first, what exactly happened? Because this reason that seems to have been cited while revoking the FCRA, as it's called, to your organization, was that it was done in public interest. Was that all that was said, or was any detail given?
Yes, that's what it says, that your activities are undesirable and they are not in public interest. You see what happened in 2014, as soon as Mr. Modi became the Prime Minister. In June they had an inquiry, and whatever they asked us, we sent it to them. Then in October they had another inquiry where actually 4 trunkloads of material was sent to them. They sat through it, they inspected every single thing, and after that there was nothing. Then in March the FCRA was renewed, and we thought whatever had to be done, they have seen everything. And 15th December there is a journalist who called me up and he said, do you know that your FCRA has been cancelled? I said, I mean, you are giving me the news, because till official
from March to December you had no problem, you were operating just fine.
Well, yes, I mean, we will operate fine even now. We didn't use that FCRA because we simply didn't apply for any funds. But yes, it was renewed and it was lying without any problem. And they suddenly decide to declare that our work is
not in public interest and undesirable activities. But you're saying nothing was actually spelt out on what these undesirable activities were?
No, nothing is spelt out, and even after that huge inquiry, they did not write to us at all. If they had to cancel the FCRA, they should have done it in November. After they did the inquiry, if they found something undesirable, they should have cancelled it then. You know, I mean, we knew it will come one day or another, because
well, Tavleen, how do you see this? Because this whole thing with the NGOs has actually been going on for some time. There's also been an argument that many NGOs in this country have not been transparent about their finances, despite whatever their intentions may have been. Do you see this as vendetta, or do you think that the government is well within its rights to act?
Well, you know, I hate to disagree with Shabnam, you've done great work and all that sort of thing, but it's, what is it, 22,000 crores or something goes to 3,000 Indian NGOs. Most of them are religious NGOs. Wherever they work, the church is creating problems. So I think that, for a start, why do you need this foreign funding? Why can't you raise funds here? If you're doing good work, you should be able to raise funds here. The other thing that I really feel that we must
The law allows them to raise foreign funds.
I know, well, you know, I don't see the point. I think that most of them, they don't have any balance sheets on their, you know, I mean, I once questioned a particular NGO and got into a lot of trouble. Secondly, too many NGOs have actually shown political loyalties. Then you're not an NGO. They've been funded by the last government for their activities, and they have actually been like a kind of political fifth column. Now, you know, if you do that, then you're taking a risk that you have to, you know, some of them have had government jobs. Indra Jaising was the Attorney General for the last government.
Additional Solicitor
Right.
General, yeah.
So if you're an NGO, make up your mind. Are you an NGO? Are you working with the government? Are you working for the government? So I'm actually, you know, I mean, I don't have much sympathy, I must say, for the
Before I
NGOs.
get Shabnam Hashmi to answer that, Dushyant Dave, how do you weigh in on this from a legal point of view, from your own experience? Do you think it's just a coincidence then that many of these people who have been targeted have been those who have been critical of Mr. Modi, of the BJP?
You know, this is a very, I would say, debatable issue. There are NGOs and NGOs. We must also remember that right to form association is a constitutional right. It's a fundamental right under Article 19. And I don't think it would be, you know, proper for government to really take away that right in any, you know, manner which is not authorized by the law. Now, having said that, I must tell you that yes, it is unfortunate that some of the NGOs are being targeted, which have worked, you know, well in Gujarat riots. One of the most singular, I would say, absence in healing the victims of the 1984 riots in Delhi was absence of credible NGOs. Now, you have to therefore understand that the riots really threw up an opportunity for NGOs to work, come to the help of those who have suffered immensely. Because as we know, most riots take place because of the political interference. And the governments in power are therefore not interested in the victims. So that vacuum is really filled by these NGOs. And I think it is really not right, whether it is Congress government or BJP government or any other government, to target the NGOs who have really come to the aid of helpless people. Now, I mean, it's unfortunately, it does seem that Mr. Modi's government, particularly I think Mr. Amit Shah, has not taken very kindly to the helping of you know, these NGOs by Ms. Hashmi or Tista Setalvad. I may not agree with what they do, but that doesn't mean that they have not done a credible job there. And yes, some amount of, you know, some mistake here or there may have taken place, but government should gloss over that. If you take this, you know, viewpoint to a logical end, there are large number of NGOs that I know which are supporting the right-wing organizations where all kinds of wrongdoings have taken place.
Yeah, and that,
but you don't target them. You don't target them.
And that is a point, in fact, that has in fact been raised by a number of members of parliament also, who've written a letter on this particular issue, writing to the Prime Minister, saying that there shouldn't you know, be double standards when it comes to targeting of NGOs. But Shabnam Hashmi, you've heard the criticism, and particularly what Tavleen was saying. How would you respond to that, particularly on the issue where she says that NGOs also have taken a political line?
You see, one thing is, she has raised a number of questions. One is that at least the organizations which have been attacked, all of them have regularly filed their returns and they are in public domain. All of them are in public domain. Every organization has to get its audit done, has to submit the F6 statement to the Home Ministry, which is submitted every single year. If you don't submit it, you will automatically, it will be cancelled. So that is not true. And if we are talking of organizations taking a stand, what was Greenpeace doing? Greenpeace fights for the rights of the tribals, for environmental rights. So it is because this government wanted to clear over 100 projects in one day, and they wanted to skip all the environment clearance processes. That is why Greenpeace was one of the first organizations to be targeted. Teesta was one of the first persons to be targeted because she is fighting the legal cases of many such cases where people sitting in power are involved. That is why attack on Teesta came much earlier. And if you see, Anhad's brief is to work for democracy and secularism, to safeguard the constitutional values. If I am fighting, or Anhad is fighting for safeguarding democracy, then I have to question the authorities or the political parties who are attacking. There is attack on freedom of expression. There are growing atrocities in what happened in Dadri or what happened in Jharkhand, where Dalits are. So you think that because for
So you
certain,
disagree with Tavleen's criticism that organizations, maybe not yours directly necessarily,
no,
but
no.
have often taken a political line.
Anhad is most vocal, and many other organizations, Teesta's organization, in criticizing. But the question is that because for, say, working in 50 villages in a state, doing women empowerment, I am accessing foreign funds, is that the reason enough that I should keep quiet when Dalits are being butchered?